Fox 5. I ain't give y'all no shirt today because I ain't got time. I ain't got time. But we are in the best shape we've been in a long time. We progressing in our program over here. 21-day program is complete. Now we actually working on this 24-week program. We're really going to lock in and get loaded on the things that are going to help us progress in the ways we want to progress. So one thing I want to progress in is while I get stronger and while, you know, we build these weak areas, shoulders need to be worked on. We need to get better with so traps. Got to get the trap stronger because I want to throw some more weight on a squat bar. What else? We got to get some motions, you know, together. What else? Ankle mobility. So one thing I think is funny is when people want to squat heavy, I always say, can you stand and balance on one leg for at least 1 minute? Each leg for 1 minute. Something that's slept on. But what else? What else we working on? We working on, so getting stronger is definitely one. Trying to get the strongest. The biggest lifts we want to focus on is squat. We're going to do deadlift. It's another one. Barbell bench press, I'm throwing that in, and dumbbell. Generally, I focus on a lot of dumbbell because of the control. But I'm definitely going to work with the barbell because I want to focus on being able to balance. Technically, you're balancing the bar. That's what I like about the barbell itself. Kettlebells we're going to throw in for a little bit more power and explosiveness. I can't wait to be able to get like access to a sled. I really want to go back to goals, but I can't travel X amount of time just to get there. You know what I mean? Like 30 minutes is too much. 30 minutes is too much. So for me, we gonna focus on moving in the right direction. And what I mean by moving in the right direction, we gonna focus on hitting these tasks. Nutrition is on point. You know what I mean? Not a lot of excessive eating out, anything to that nature. Hydration has definitely been up. Making sure, when I say hydration, making sure we get the cold pressed juices, the waters. The cold pressed juices, the waters, all the above, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to give you a little a basic breakdown of how we're structuring things and how we focusing on things. We're not trying to overcomplicate it. We know it's going to take 24 weeks for us to get to our goal. So we're going to stay on top of these things and we're going to continuously assess these things. First thing that's a primary is form and technique. We're going to be on top of our form. We're going to be on top of our technique. That's the whole way right now. Form and technique is going to may vary based upon what phase we're in and what we're doing. So I'm going to give you an example what I mean by this. Right now, because we did machines the past month, we're going to start isolating with a few dumbbells time and time again. We've been doing the lat pull downs. We've been doing the machine rolls. We've been doing those for months now. It's been months on end. We've been doing those. So now what we're going to focus on is we're going to focus on form. So we might add a little bit of explosion to it. We might add a little bit of movement to it and add a little bit of power. Some people don't like doing explosive movements with their exercises, but me personally, I've always been like to add explosive movements. One reason why for me, I feel like it's going to help you move in a direction of where you want to move. And what I mean by this is you're trying to get stronger, and sometimes you can allow the body to memorize the strength that you're trying to build, the power that you're trying to build by an explosive motion. So a good example is if we're doing 225, right? 225, and we're in the middle of our program, and we can only do 225 for 2 reps, but we're in the middle of our program. If we do it in the beginning of our program, Yeah. I got you. If we're in the middle of our program, it's a different situation where we're not going to have a certain amount of strength, and this is why conditioning is going to be important. Within progression, we'll be able to do more. But think about it, we're at the beginning phases of our program, like month 1, month 2. I don't really think your expectations should be but so high. And I'm at that phase right now where I'm trying to move into weight that I haven't been in since my injuries the past few years. You know what I'm saying? For those who do not know, unfortunately, I've gotten injuries from car accidents in the past. So that has actually derailed me from being able to lift how I want to lift in seasons like right now. Right now, I will really be in the thick of it. What I mean by the thick of it, I will really be moving weight right now. We in January. I will be going crazy with weight. I'm damn near going to 315 every day right now. You know what I'm saying? But for me now, we ain't at those numbers. We're trying to build back to those numbers. Can I do 315 for box squats? Of course. But when it comes down to being able to do them for natural, I'm not going to say, unassisted is what I'm going to say. So just general squats, unassisted, we're not there right now because of past injuries from the car accident. So for me, like I said, I'm going to do what I got to do the smart way. When we talk about getting stronger, we're not trying to get stronger in 4 weeks. Yes, we can get stronger in 4 weeks, but I'm talking about you're going to be able to maintain this strength for the course of the next 8 months. We want to get stronger. We don't just want to lose the strength, be this strong for 2 weeks and can't lift the same thing 3 weeks later. I'm not looking to do that. When we move into numbers where we moving 125 pound dumbbells, we can do this at least once a week. We can get these for X amount of reps. There is going to be, and I think this is a disclaimer in my opinion when it comes down to form and technique, because there's so many different ways to do things and to manipulate form and technique that people don't understand what they may be getting exposed to because they're used to or acclimated to a specific way of doing things. And my breakdown and my assessment of saying this, if you really look at a lot of pro athletes, each one trains completely different to be able to unlock this so-called special skill. So form and technique, when it comes down to some of the basics like squats, deadlifts, these things can be misunderstood because there's so many different ways to go about it. That's why for me, I always say, be careful of what you listen to and what you take with a grain of salt when it comes down to your training. You have to understand why this person is doing this specific thing to really see or understand if this works for you or you should continue to use this in your program. And this is another reason why I would say get programs that are, what's the word I want to use, that are customized for you specifically. You shouldn't really be trying to do my specific program. My program is tailored towards me. Like I said, I've never used someone else's program. What I did was I've always assessed others' program to understand why they're doing what they're doing and why this exercise was chosen for the 5th exercise or the 3rd exercise, or maybe they did this 20 sets. You get where I'm going? There's always a time and a place for everything. And I feel like this can be very confusing and where it can feel like or seem like misinformation because the person is foreign to this way of doing it. Mainly when you're looking into like different things of like animal style training, boxing. You got to understand there's a way of doing certain things, but do understand that form is still going to be very important. Do understand that technique is still going to be very important, and understand the reason for why they're doing this way, to understand is this the way you should be going about it towards you achieving your goal. Second thing is going to be food. Food is going to be important in so many different ways. I don't just want to say the ingredients are going to be important. The ingredients are going to be very, very important. Very important. And what I mean by ingredients, I'm also referring to food quality. I'm also referring to portion size. I'm also referring to calorie intake. I'm also enforcing intake. So a lot of these things as a collective when it comes down to food are going to be very important. and we're going to have to understand what works for our bodies. We really need to lock in on what we're doing and how we're doing things. Yep. We need to understand what we're doing and how we're doing things. As we go along, remember, drop questions. Third thing that's going to be important is going to be recording. How are you recording this sequence? How do you know that you're documenting this the right way? There are things that I need you to do that are going to be very important. I see you, Apollo. How are you? So your recording is going to be very important. I'm going to tell you why. Recording, documentation. Recording can be photos. Recording for photos is simple as before and after pictures. Recordings could be exercises that you're performing throughout the gym. If you're able to record your whole session, by all means, this is great documentation. You can see how you were moving. You can see how you felt. You can see your energy towards the exercise. Recordings can be a little pep talk you had before you got into the gym. A recording can be you documenting each and every exercise that you did when you were at the gym. There's so many different forms of documentation and recording that you should be using in translation to see if we're doing things the right way. I'm giving you game if you're paying attention. If you're learning from this live right now, do me a favor and type a 7 in the comments. If you're learning from this live right now, do me a favor and type a 7 in the comments. Remember, we're going to work on form. That's going to be important. We're going to work on food. That's going to be important. And we're discussing recordings. Recording is going to be very, very, very important. Recordings are going to be very important. I need you to understand one thing. When it comes down to your recordings, like I said, this can be videos. This can be photos. This can be your exercises. This can be something as simple as MyFitnessPal, you logging all your meals in. If you're utilizing all of these things, that's even better. The more you document, the easier things become. What it do? The more you document, the more you record, the easier things can be done. I love the fact that I've been able to document my entire process for the past few years. I've been able to document my workouts. I've been able to document my food. I take pictures. I like to take pictures. Me personally, I always take pictures. People always say, why do people take pictures of what they ate at restaurants? Why do people take pictures of this? Me personally, that's another way of documentation. Documentation is everything. Recording is everything. How can I help you? How can I help you? You take pictures with your unicorn camera? That is a great way of documentation. You're absolutely right. Forms, all these different forms of documentation are going to allow you to better assess, are these things working for us or not working for us? Even understand how long we've been doing these things. Some of us may think we've been doing something for a long time, but we've honestly only been doing it for a couple months. We ain't been doing it that long to really say we've been consistent. You say that again? Okay, you're right. I get it. So do understand, the more you document, the easier you can understand what is working and what isn't working. Now we can make a conscious decision on what we're going to do. We can make a conscious decision on what we're going to do. And with that decision, this is, okay, what should I implement to progress in this program? Or what should I not do? Or from the documentation we've done, am I doing it the right way? Because sometimes exercises, a lot of people don't realize, are transitional. So I'm going to give you a good example for me of how I transition exercises. I like to perfect the movement on something like a machine. Then I like to shock the body by using a different machine. So a great example is, I might go to a gym that has access to hammer strength, lifetime, and hoist machines. When I'm first starting my process, I might focus on more not hammer strength, because hammer strength is when you throw the pins in. So I wouldn't start with hammer strength. Generally, I would start with Lifetime. So I would use a lot of the Lifetime machines, right, for the first 2 weeks. Then I can technically shock the body by using a hoist machine and hammer strength because they're all set up differently. I love the setup with hammer strength and hoist machine because at the end of the day, you can build more power. You can build more explosiveness. You can get a lot stronger. I like to use hammer strength for there. The setups are very comfortable. I feel like a lot of the setups with the hammer strength machines, they allow you to build more power so you can be more explosive. So what I like to do is starting in, I might be more explosive with heavier weight because I know I can get my body through it. Then 2 weeks later, now we slowing down the pace of what we're doing because the body has memorized that we're doing this amount of weight for this much time. This has also helped me stay conditioned and build longevity when I move into exercises like pickleball. When I move in, well, not exercise, but sports like pickleball and basketball. I want y'all to understand, I am 35 years of age. I have 3 children. You hear the daggone children in the background. You've seen me answer questions throughout this live from them asking me something or calling me. So I do want you to understand, you somebody that understands longevity. You dealing with somebody who still hoop with y'all kids. Remember this, fit over 35. When I go to the Y, when I go to LA Fitness, I'm working out with y'all kids. That's 21, 22, 18, 19. You ain't out here on the floor. So I'm seeing a difference. I'm playing pickleball with the older and the younger, the 30, the 76. I see the difference. I see the transition. I see how movement impacts your life and lifestyle relative what you've been feeding to it from form, food, and recovery. Come on now. I'm giving the game if you're paying attention. So I do want you to understand when we're building a program, when we're building our training system, it all should be tailored towards what we're trying to do, what we looking forward to doing. Do understand these things are going to make or break what makes sense for us. You get where I'm going? You get where I'm going? Do understand. You need to understand what works and what doesn't work for you as the individual. Once again, this is another form and method of what we can use to hold ourselves accountable, to stay motivated, to get inspired. There's so many things you need to pay attention to and understand to really point you in the right direction and help you get where you're really trying to go. You can get more of what you want if you document the right way. This is why we talk about record. Record your workouts. Document what you're doing. You can see if you're moving in the right direction. So like I said, we're going to do the things that work best for us at the end of the day. From our form, to our food, to what we record. And we're going to keep getting results. As you can see, I know I ain't on the live right now, but you see the bicep on the bicep. You can start to see the tricep separation. We only getting stronger because we're taking the right steps and doing the things that need to be done within some of these small steps. The form, the food, and the give you for the day. Make sure you follow back. Go back on the lives. I'm giving you a lot of free game on what to do and how to move forward. A constant reminder, tap in on the lives. Sometimes we jump in on a morning time. We try to jump in as anytime we got time available. The life and lifestyle was different, but we're talking about somebody who's been doing this for a long time. I don't just like to get on here and show you. You get where I'm going? 35. Making it look easy. We don't take creatine. We don't take protein shakes. We drink water, drink cold pressed juices, work out. We don't do no caffeine, no pre-workout, no coffee, no caffeines with tea. You know what I'm saying? So do understand, we're not begging for energy. We got the energy because we understand what to do and how to go about these things so we're not burning ourselves out. We're making sure that we have enough energy that we're fit for life. Let's get